Good morning, you guys. How are you doing? Today is Mental Health Monday. So, I've been noticing on the YouTube streets, regular streets, all streets that I'm on, Sesame Street, whatever street, that everyone seems to be going through a little bit of a storm. People are facing bouts of depression, anxiety, just overall sadness, and I myself included. I don't know if for some it's because it's approaching the holiday season. A lot of people get seasonal depression, and there's just people that are going through depression all the time. So I just encourage everybody, if you know somebody in the YouTube streets, regular streets, Sesame Street, just check in on your friends, make sure that they're doing good, see how their emotional check-ins are, because that can make a huge difference in somebody's day, just knowing that somebody is out there caring about them. So I hope you guys are all doing good and your mental health is in good spirits. And if it's not, it's okay too. You don't always have to be happy. I mean, you just need to acknowledge those feelings. Yesterday, without going into great detail, I was having a talk with my daughter. We were on the subject of forgiveness because right now, in this season of my life, that is currently what I'm working on. And I was asking her how she was doing. She says, I'm fine. Clearly she wasn't. But I told her before I even asked her how she was doing, because we were talking about another YouTuber who's having a sad season, which is one of the YouTubers she watches, and he's going through something, and my heart went out all the way to him. I was like telling her, I was like, hey, we're so conditioned to say we're fine when we're not. And not even a minute later, I asked her, I'm like, how are you doing? And she said, fine. And then I looked at her and she's like, oh. So a lot of times we're not even registering that we're just saying we're fine when we're not. We're just so conditioned to be fine, or say we're fine. At least we're not really fine. Like I said in another vlog, like you can be crying internally but smiling on the outside, and I just feel like it's hard because, oh my gosh, this wind, y'all, it's hard because people tend to look at people that are open with their mental health in a certain type of way. Because when I started therapy when I was 18, my parents were like, why are you in therapy? My parents were like, why are you in therapy? And I'm like, I have a lot of unresolved issues and I don't want to carry this load. It's heavy. And they're like, what are you talking about? Because we're so conditioned to carry these loads that you don't even know what it might feel like if it was just lifted and off of you. My friend and I always talk about trauma and the things that we go through that are traumatic that we kind of brush off. I was talking to her about my car accident, traumatic, and I just kind of made a joke about it. And she was like, see, there goes that masking of the trauma thing, and called me out on it. And I was like, you're right. Like, I'm so used to laughing at my pain. Kevin Hart. I'm so used to laughing at my pain, or we're used to, as a people, used to laughing at our pain, that we don't register it as pain. We were just talking about things in our lives that are traumatic that we kind of just like brush off, and we don't acknowledge them as things being trauma. It's just something that happens to us, So on this Mental Health Monday, it is okay to acknowledge your pain. It's okay to feel what you need to feel. Sometimes, let me tell you, a good cry in the closet clears out a lot of stuff. And I am a person that I try to put a time limit on my crying because I feel like I will not stop if I cry. But I am an emotional creature when it comes to babies being harmed, people being harmed, elderly. Like, I'm emotional. I cry over commercials. I'm a very emotional person. And I'm okay with it. I have deep feels, and when something moves me, whether it be in a direction of sadness or a direction of happiness, I'm liable to cry. So I just want people to know that you don't always have to say it's fine. Somebody's like, how are you doing? You can be like, as a matter of fact, I didn't have a really good day and I'm not feeling well. And it's okay to acknowledge that. You don't have to wear this mask all the time. I forgot to emotionally check in myself. Today I'm feeling good. We got some really good news today, and I'm happy about it. It's gonna take a little bit of stress off, and I can breathe for about 4 whole minutes. I'm excited to breathe for those 4 minutes, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to it. So yeah, there goes the 4 minutes, right? 4 seconds, I guess. But it's gonna get my head full. Well, I'm in the game 100%, but it's gonna get me fully back in the game. So yeah, I feel good today. That's my emotional check-in. Now back to you. If you're not fine, it's okay not to be fine. There's no point in hiding how you feel, because at the end of the day, you're dealing with all this stuff on the inside, and it hurts. It's painful at times. But I have to start dealing with my emotions in real time, because what happens is I feel some type of way and I'll acknowledge it 4 to 5 weeks later, and I'm like, just randomly, and my friend LC will be like, girl, like, why didn't you say something? So I've been sharing with her in real time, which I don't do. I do not share in real time. LC, I love you. If you ever find my YouTube, I share with her my emotions in real time because she's somebody that I feel like I can actually be vulnerable enough to share my feelings in real time with. So usually what happens is, after the storms have passed, I'm like, this is what happened. And then everybody's like, what? You were like smiling and laughing and joking on the phone with me, and all this was happening in the background? Like, yeah, girl, it's fine. But it wasn't while I was going through it. But I hate being that burden. But I feel like my real friends won't mind my burden. They'll love me anyways. And people who aren't my real friends burden me with their problems sometimes, so why not, So if I share a vulnerable moment with you, which I share so many with you guys, like a lot with you guys, and feels bomb though. That's me letting you into my life. You know what I mean? How do I describe myself? I'm honest, but I withhold information. Emotional stuff I usually don't share. I just feel like oh gosh, why are there so many bugs? I feel like, wow, that's taking it too far. You want to know how I really feel? You're taking it too far. You're in my business now. But my daughter inspired me a lot. Once she came to me and she's like, I want to start therapy, I felt like, wow, you know what? I want to go on this journey with her. I want to experience this with her. And I want to deal with my pain and trauma, hurt with her. There's so many things that I've mashed down throughout my life, and I think I've only shared with a few people, and it's crazy that you can live going through so much physical abuse, emotional abuse, whatever kind of abuse, and still be like, ding, every day. Trauma that we learn to mash down, make it normal to deal with all this pain. And that's sad. That's so sad that you feel like you have to do those things. You can't change the way you view things. I notice there's times where you talk to, say, a parent, and they're like, your life is great. You had this, and that. I bought you the latest X, Y, and Z. But maybe that's not your love language. And as kids, we don't understand love languages, but maybe it wasn't. And so you're like, yeah, you kept giving me toys, but I wanted quality time. And so you look back on life like, I had a miserable childhood. I wasn't happy. I didn't spend any time with my family. Like, they were always at work, or they were too tired. And but you didn't know or to register your love language probably until you were older. When kids do, candidly, my kids be like, you're not spending time with me. And even in the ripe age of 19, my daughter will be like, you're not spending time with me. You're always doing this. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm glad she's able to vocalize that. My son, I don't know, half the time he don't want to deal with me. He's in that section of life where he's with his girlfriend, and that's fine too. I miss him though. That's my little buddy. But anyways, yeah. So for a young child, say maybe 5 or 6, my kids were pretty emotionally aware of wanting to spend time and what it meant to them, but they wanted the toys too. Kimana's love language would probably be quality time, but second would be gifts. They're like almost tied. Taj is probably acts of service, the way I see him. So, but do they register what their love language is? Probably not, probably not yet, because it hasn't really been into play yet, so much so that it needs to be registered. But you can live the same exact life in the same exact household, have the same exact parents, and experience it differently. I can ask each one of my kids, how do you feel about your childhood? Kimana might be like, oh, it's good, we used to play together. And Taj can be like, well, I didn't really like it. I didn't enjoy growing up. And I can't be like, well, I think it's great because of X, Y, and Z. And he'll be like, I still don't feel like it was great. I just gotta acknowledge that that's how he felt about it. And ask him, is there anything I can do to change that? Yes, you're 16, but what can I do to change the way you're feeling about how you grew up? Acknowledging feelings is important. It's super important because you have to acknowledge your kids' feelings. A lot of times they're hushed. Oh, they're crying because they fail. To be quiet. I always would tell them, like, it's okay. And they cry it out, we fix it, and then move forward. I mean, sometimes it gets a little but it's okay. Like, don't shut down their feelings. Don't minimize the feelings. Just allow them to feel. So today, I challenge you to feel your feelings. Feel all the feels and see what comes up for you and work on resolving that. Because one day, like mine came around when about a month ago, almost 2 months ago, I mashed down so many things for so long that I was vomiting it, and it was just coming out. So deal with it now so you don't vomit it up later or choke on it. Because illness starts in the gut, but not only in the gut, that's where a lot of feelings are stored, a lot of heartache, a lot of stuff is stored in the feels. So if you deal with your feelings, you can heal yourself within. And we're all about healing. We're all about growing. We're all about doing better for our lives. So that's what we're focusing on right about now. I'm ending this portion of the vlog. I don't know if I'm continuing on later, but I'm ending this portion with have a great day. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video. And let me know how you guys are feeling today. Like really, really feeling. Not I'm fine, but if you are having the most excellent day, don't hide that shit. And if you are having a horrible day, don't hide that shit either. Because listen, I want to know good, bad, and ugly. We're family here, and I want to share with you, and I want you to share with me. So it's a long breath for me. Y'all know I can't breathe. Y'all know I can't breathe. I love you guys so much, and I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you're not, it's okay. And I'll see you later, okay? Ooh, my side is hurting. Girls, ladies, gentlemen, why? I thought it was because I had to use the restroom, but I used the restroom and it still hurts. So, I don't know. We just gonna have to see. But let me get home. Let me get this day started. Let me make it to what it do.